What's up, NXTGen? So we got Jamari Milton here with Andress High School. We're going to talk a little bit about his preseason, what's going on leading up to his senior season, and kind of what happened last year, and talk a little bit about what he did in the offseason, what his team did in the offseason, celebrate some of their wins, and just talk about how we're going to get better in the future and everything that's to come for these exciting Golden Eagles of Andress. So. Jamari, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on here. It's a blessing to be on here. It means a lot. I played quarterback for Andress High School, class 2027. I think going into the season, there's a lot of good expectations, from around the city with the media, but only inside the locker room we know what's going on. So we try to stay inside the locker room. We don't want to get on social media and look at the expectations they have for us. Just we know what we have to get done to get where we want to go. So just want to stay in the locker room and with each other as a team and with our coaching staff and trust what we have going on inside of there to get us to those places.
And I think that's exactly what we want to do here, right? We don't want to speculate. We don't want to put expectations out there for you guys. We want to hear it directly from the source. If you read that article, which I'm sure you'll get to here shortly, that just aired that we did on you guys, you'll see we're not giving you guys any expectation. We're talking exactly about what we're going to talk about today, which is what happened last year, what y'all did to improve, and what y'all have goals and expectations for yourselves, right? So, so let's talk about last year. Let's start there. Tell us a little bit about how that season went, the highs, the lows, memorable moments. What all went on for you guys?
The season before we went 5-6. Barely made playoffs. We lost first round. So, we know we had a lot of motivation going into the next year. We knew we could. We had a good football team going into the next year. We weren't going to be a below average team, but we knew we couldn't just go out there and just play. Right, we had to fix some things we had going on. Get in the weight room, get bigger, faster, stronger. If we wanted to go compete with the guys that we wanted to in the third, fourth round. Right, so during some workouts, I have a guy named Cornelius Brown. He helped us a lot. Throughout some workouts, got us faster. Helped our mental aspect too as well, and made team chemistry a little bit better. Also, that spring ball, we connected with the coaches a lot more. Right, we got a new OC. So if you think about it, he came in there July of my sophomore year, which is the year we went 5-6. So there's not a lot of time really to connect, right? So we only have a couple weeks. But going into spring ball, everybody connected with the coach a little bit more. Coach Q, but it's Coach Redding. The playbook opened up. So going into the new year, we felt really confident. We had a pretty tough pre-district schedule. One of the only teams that played higher comp or teams that everybody thought was better than us, right? But we went, I think pre-district were 4-1. 4-1, we dropped the first game, but I think going into the district, we felt really, really good going into district play. I think we dropped one game in district.
Okay.
We shared the district title with us and two other teams. But going into playoffs, we were kind of upset that we shared the district title, so we wanted to motivate us to go to playoffs. We played a team named Memorial. For us, it wasn't an upset, but for the media, the community, they said it was an upset. The first team to beat the Wichita Falls ISD team in the playoffs. We go second round, we play Melissa. They're a pretty good football team, right? They beat us. But I think the memorable moments from that year was just us seeing all of our hard work pay out, going and winning the district title, us getting first team all district honors, our coaches getting their recognition. Those were big memorable moments for us. So I think winning the district title was the best memorable moment.
Yeah, and I think you guys proved some people wrong too, right? Like you guys had been in a little bit of a slump at Andress, coming out of a sub 500 season, then going into it. You guys went 5-6 the year before, and to come out there and shock the community, right? Going not really shock the community. I don't think it shocked you guys. I think you guys knew what you had, right? Going 9-3, 7-1 in district, and you played amazing throughout that season as well. And I know your teammates did too, but obviously they're not on here. We're talking with you, so we're gonna talk a little bit about you. I know you're humble and probably don't like that, but. With 2,600 total yards, you had 23 passing touchdowns. You had another 9 on the ground, I believe. Like those are big numbers coming from what that school has produced at the quarterback level in the past, right? I think that coaching staff has done a really good job over there at Andress. I think obviously you and some of your teammates. I know we talked a little bit about the other day, and I'd like you to, if you don't mind, share some of that about how the seniors from that group last year kind of needed you guys to step up your game a little bit, because I think that was a good story. I think everybody would love to hear how that went, if you don't mind.
How the seniors wanted us to step up?
Yeah.
Like how I would say, 5-6, right? You don't want to go 5-6 into your junior year. You're thinking, next year we might be worse, right? So we just kept motivating them as a younger classman because we knew, right? We knew going into the new year we're going to have a good year because we have that confidence, we have the mentality to go into the new year. But those guys, they trusted us, right? You're a senior, you don't want to trust a lot of guys that are younger than you. It's just how it is. But I feel like they had a lot of trust in us. Especially me, right? I'm not a senior. I wasn't a senior at that time. I'm a junior. I had 3 senior receivers, right? So I have to earn their trust too because it's our last year. They want to go out the right way. So I think just us, and even with some workouts, right? Us working, holding each other accountable through some workouts, no matter the age, no matter the year, the age, what class you are, holding everybody accountable and knowing what we want and made us all, be on the same level, right? Just because you're a senior doesn't mean you're here or a junior you're here. So that was really good for us going into the year. So the seniors kind of knew that we had good teammates. We were all good teammates with each other going into it. So we all stepped up to help our seniors go out the right way.
Nice. And I think you guys are probably going to look at some of your underclassmen this year come the same way, right? Look at them,
Absolutely.
expect them to, hold them accountable, expect them to step up their game and take their game to the next level so it helps you guys get where you guys want to be on your last year, right? So I think you guys did a great job leading by example last season and being able to do that for your seniors that were on their way out. So kudos to you guys.
Yes,
Take
sir.
me back through that Melissa game. Tell me how that game went. Talk to me about things that maybe you guys could have did better, maybe some things that you guys feel that you could do differently this year if you were to play them again in the playoffs.
I would say we went to that game very confident, right? Even though watching on film, we see we're very explosive, very fast. This was a top 20 team in Texas, right? But I feel like we had a very good year, so our confidence going in there was like, we could play, right? We don't want to go in there and just be like down. No, we could play with these guys. So I believe we went to halftime down like 35-14. But I don't think the gap was that big, right? Us playing against them, it wasn't 35-14. They had a couple big plays with us. We had a couple slip ups, but I think just going into that game, we had a couple guys on the team that was just like, they weren't 100% into it, right? So you could kind of see that on the field. We had dumb mental mistakes that we didn't have during the year, right? Missed snaps, missed blocks, missed cues, missed reads, just little things that turn into a 35-14 gap going into halftime, right? We come out of halftime, and then obviously, they increased the gap. They have their depth. Their backups are coming in, making them keep fresh. Just they had more depth than us, and then so we just went down and we couldn't get back from it, right? So I think going into differently, right? We're down 35-14. You still have 2 quarters to play football, so we'll come back from that and just keep fighting. Just keep fighting until the last whistle.
No, I like that. I mean, you and displaying that next play mentality, even after it's already happened. Like I think that's super important, especially being a quarterback, right? And you having the ability to just say, "Hey, 21 points, it's not that big of a gap, right?" Like some people would love to only lose by 21, right?
Yeah,
um,
that's what I'm saying.
so,
Yeah.
all right. So talk to me a little bit about your off season. I know you were at a lot of camps. You went out there, you showed your stuff to a lot of coaches, you made some valuable relationships and started building some of those relationships, and those obviously translated pretty well into a couple of offers. Talk to me a little bit about that journey for you and what all the off season meant and how important you think that off season and getting to these camps and meeting these coaches is.
I would say just going into the off season. Excuse me. I didn't really think about offers, right? God's gonna bless you whatever plan He has, right? So you don't want to force it. Just do what you have to do to help that plan work, right? So I knew going into off season, right? I broke a couple records, so there's gonna be a little bit of buzz, right, on Twitter, phone calls, right? But you never want to get too cocky, right? Because they can easily just never call you again. So I just want to keep my head down, keep working. I still had 1 more year left. So I had some time, right? The time runs out, but you could be a little bit patient. So just getting bigger, faster, stronger because I think I was a little bit light around 183 when the season ended. So I wanted to get my weight up. So when I go to camps, right, you can see, right, I'm bigger. But just really focusing on just the mental aspect of the game, right? I'm not really focusing on college coaches calling me. Really just focused on helping my team for the next year, right? Because that's going to come. But I just want to win games, right? That's the goal. Win games. At the end of the day, is to win games. So I think I thought if I just focused on that through January, December through where we're at right now, we should be. My off season is pretty successful. I had a couple good camps. I think I showed out pretty well at those camps. Showed my ability, dropped my 40 time a little bit from 4.9 to 4.55. So I think
Just a
my
little bit.
off season went. I think my off season went pretty well. I think I grinded it out, and it was successful. I wanted to.
No, I think you did do a great job, and obviously shout out to the programs that recognize your ability, man. Like New Mexico Highlands, Western New
Yes, sir.
Mexico, taking a chance, I guess, if you would say taking a chance on you. I'm sure
Absolutely.
they feel the same as I do. It's a for sure thing, right? Like you're going to succeed if you come here. I appreciate them reaching out and chatting with you and doing everything with you and having that journey and creating that relationship. I think that's super awesome, and it's a bode to your hard work ethic and the confidence that you exude when you step on the field, whether it's at a camp, at a game, or on a video camera with me, right? So
Yes, sir.
um, appreciate those coaches, appreciate those programs. Let's turn the page a little bit. Let's talk about the upcoming season. I want to know what
Yep.
goals you guys have for yourselves as a team. I want to know what goals you have for yourself. And I want to know what you guys are expecting out of this year. Obviously, it's your senior year. I'm sure there's high expectations. Tell me a little bit about them.
Last year, like I said, we shared district title. Going into last year, we didn't want to share this title. So when we shared it, it was kind of upsetting for us. So I think after last season, our goal was obviously, it was still in question if we are going down to 4A or not. But we knew that even if we stayed in 5A or went down to 4A, it was to outright win a district title. So that's our first goal. Is to work to that point to win our district title. We don't want to just win by 3. We want to dominate, win by double digits, right? Because we know we have that ability to do so. We have the coaching staff to do so. So win a district title, and then after that, we want to go deep into the playoffs. I believe we have a 4th round or deeper football team. Our coaches believe it. We have the work ethic to do it. So those are our goals this year. Going win a district title outright, and then potentially make it to state championship.
Okay. What would winning a state championship mean to you in your senior year? How would that feel?
Oh man. 4 years is playing football, or more than 4 years, all these years playing football. When you get on probably the biggest stage in the nation, Dave Campbell. It would. I couldn't even explain it in words. So I don't even know how to answer that, because winning the state title, that's like, everybody dreams of it, right? So just winning that, it would just have to be in the moment. I'll just be happy, for my teammates. Probably more happy for my teammates and my coaching staff than myself. But that would just be. It would be a life. It's a lifetime moment for them.
Do you want to maybe shout out some of your support staff, your influential guys in your life? Thank them a little bit before we get off this thing.
Obviously my parents, my mom, my dad. I wouldn't be here without them. They pushed me since I was like 6. They pushed me to this point, to this limit. Some days I don't want to work out. There's some days I don't want to do this. But they pushed me to that level because they know I want to make it, right? So, and then my sisters as well. Seeing them do good in their education, getting their 4.0 GPAs in college, and just seeing them keep working off the field. It motivates me more. Right? We compete for grades in school, so when I'm down on them, I'd be like, bro, I got to get better. But my family's my big support system, right? They're here for me no matter what. If I have a bad game, they're there for me. I say, like, besides family, actually my auntie too, and my grandma. It was my whole family. How do I
I was
say
gonna
that? My
say,
whole
don't
family.
forget
My
nobody.
whole family. My coaches, Coach Redding, my OC. Like he said, he came in before my sophomore year. He's more than just coaching me, right? He's like another dad when my dad's not there, right? Or another reason why I came to Andress, going into high school, was because when I'm at school or I'm playing football and my dad's not there, I want somebody that can help me be a young man and take the football game seriously. I don't want coaches that let me slack off or do bad things off the field. So I think he helps me in that aspect, as well as my head coach, Coach Taylor, Chris Taylor. They both help me in that aspect, not just be a good football player, but as a young man off the field and in the classroom as well.
Awesome, man. What about some of your teammates you guys are really looking forward to seeing play this year, seeing how they turned the page, how they've improved? Anybody you want to shout out on the team?
I would say, a lot of seniors graduated this year, so we have a lot of younger guys coming up. I wouldn't say there's no ones or twosies guys you can point out for recognition, right? I think a lot of the guys that are coming up, they're going to earn their recognition, right? You guys will see it on the film, you'll see it in the stats. So I can't just point 1 or 2 guys out. The guys that you guys already seen on the media, we got ours already. We just got to keep that up for the guys younger than us. But there's a lot of guys on the team that are going to shock a lot of people this year.
Awesome. Love to hear it, man. I appreciate you coming on. If there is one piece of advice you can leave for this younger generation of athletes that are coming in, maybe looking to do what you did your last year, or maybe even before that, what would that advice be, man?
I'll say on football, next play mentality, right? You can throw a pick, next drive you can go score, right? You just can't let one play slack you off for the rest of the play. Like, your coach is going to yell at you, is what they're supposed to do. Your teammates might be upset, but once you make a good play, or if you win the football game, at the end of the day, you won, right? You're still breathing. So at the end of the day, like, it's just a football game. You might love it, but don't let that reflect you as a person, right? And then even if off the field, right, everybody's journey is different, right? In the classroom, in college, in your jobs, so everybody's journey is different. So don't focus on what everybody else is doing. Just focus on yourself, going in and improving to what you want to do in your goals. So just keep going with what you want to do, and don't focus on what happens with everybody else. Maybe theirs might be earlier, maybe theirs might be later. Just trust your plan and what you have going.
Awesome. Jamari, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on and chatting about Andress. I'm excited to see you guys' games this year. Obviously, I won't be out there in person, but I'm gonna be watching every one of them from the background up here in Michigan. So go out there, show out for us. I already know you're going to be a great example of our hashtag NextGen athletes. Like,
Yes, sir.
just go out there and do your thing, man. We're going to be cheering you on. You got a whole fan base up here you don't even know about, man. So we're excited to see how the senior season goes. We're excited to see what happens beyond that point. I'm sure we'll talk again between now and then. But if you need anything, you know where to reach us, man. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on here. It means a lot.
Absolutely appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.